This is a lesson on comparing the open position to the 12th position and comparing those two octaves. This is actually number 15 from my new book, Exploring the Fretboard. You can follow the lessons for free and actually pick up all the exercises just from the videos. But if you're more serious, you'll probably, definitely want the notation so you can see what it all looks like. And it's just easier to study that way. So there's a link for that in the description. So like I was saying, number 15 takes a small fragment played in open position. That means, utilizing the open string in the first frets. And then compares that to playing the same passage one octave up in the 12th position. So let me just play a fragment for you and then we'll have a discussion on this. So those are the same notes, but just one octave above. And the reason we're comparing them is to compare how the fretboard layout works here compared to how it works here. And it actually works in the same way. So in my book, we always say the note names out loud to make sure we're actually making a connection with the notes. That's a very, very essential point. So let's do that with that first little fragment. E, F, F sharp, G, E, E, F, F sharp, G, E. So the confusing thing about comparing the open position to the 12th position, and one of the reasons that people get confused reading up in this area, is that the fingerings are going to be different, because what was once an open string, we now have to fret that open string, or we have to fret that E, and that changes the fingering. So suddenly the fingering is different, even though the passage is essentially exactly the same, right? But by saying the note names out loud, you can make a clear connection to understanding that the layout of the instrument is the same up here as it is down here. So let's just go through the whole exercise to get an idea of what I mean. Each fragment will just be played here and then one octave above in the 12th position. We'll do that first example as well. And each pattern is exactly the same that I'm going to play, but saying the note names out loud means that you're actually going to be learning about the musical notes on the fretboard. So it's obviously you could just memorize the fingering and play this, but playing it is not the point. Saying the note names out loud and understanding what you're doing, that's the point. E, F, F sharp, G, E, E, F, F sharp, G, E, B, C, C sharp, D, B, B, C, C sharp, D, B, G, G sharp, A sharp, G, G, G sharp, A sharp, G, D sharp, E, F, D, D sharp, E, F, D, A sharp, B, C, A sharp, B, C, A, E, F, F sharp, G, E, F, F sharp, G, E. So obviously the exercise just takes a fingering pattern and repeats it on each string, but by saying those note names out loud, you have a much more clear understanding that that is just that. So when you're reading music in that position, you can just think of the musical alphabet and understand how the fretboard works. And that's the point of the book, is that a lot of these exercises at first might seem kind of tedious or repetitive, like repetitive patterns, but when you start saying the note names out loud, you start realizing that, oh, I'm actually learning how the musical alphabet works on the guitar and getting confident with that. I'm also, at the same time, building anchor points, like knowing where my octave is and and knowing that, next to the octave is a semitone up. Like, you're learning a lot of things by saying the note names out loud and doing these exercises. However, if you went through the book and just said, like, I can do that, well, that doesn't really do anything. You've just memorized some fingering. So make sure you're saying the note names out loud, and do it for quite a few days, or even on a week. Do this exercise. Just, again, to build up some anchor points and to get really comfortable with the concepts. Let it all sink in. Don't be rushed. Don't think like, I got to do a couple of exercises at a time. One exercise at a time for a really long time, saying the note names out loud. That's the thing that will let it sink in. So, and then the next exercise is going to be comparing the first position to the 13th position. And in that case, your fingering will actually be exactly the same, so it's much less confusing.